Here we are at Geo Lake South. So we just went, just to recap, we went from the Castle Morn Rampart where we got the turtle shield up above. We did Orides Rise where we got the memory stone. We got a sacred tear and frenzied flame from this church. We ran up this way to the Church of Pilgrimage where there was a grace, as well another sacred tear. Then we went on down this way. This is Tombsword Ruins. We'll be clearing that in the Let's Play. But we went from the Church of Pilgrimage here to the Fourth Church of America, where we went from there to the Isolated Merchant Shack, which allowed us to get our lantern. So we did fast travel and decided to go on back to Aguil Lake South because the main focus of this starting guide is to get you guys set up with one of the best quality weapons and just to have an overall good experience playing this game. So we went ahead and we've leveled up, we've used our runes, we have the required strength and dexterity that will be needed to use the weapon. For some time after this, we'll be doing a few more levels into our health and then be going for more stamina in our endurance. So yeah, go ahead. We got Blythe's side quest coming up. If you remember the wolf guy in the Mistwood, he's looking for someone, and that someone is in this Ever Jail. That's how you pronounce that. These are cool instances within the game. You'll notice here we have a summon sign for Blythe. Make sure to bring him along. That way you can advance his quest line, which leads into a really cool quest line for a one of my favorite endings in the game.
In a cell is no true justice.
So here's Blythe.
No.
He's here.
This is where it ends for you.
And just watch out for this dude because he hits and he hurts. And Blythe will take most of the brunt in this fight. Just want to get in there and he is on me right now. And there we go. That'll get you your Bloodhound's Fang. And that is my weapon for this playthrough. Right, so Blythe's standing out here. Go ahead and speak with him.
Not to work for it, but it's don't say I'm not a man.
Give you a somber smithing stone.
Oh yes. If you venture north to Rea Lucaria and come across a venerable blacksmith who's a little on the large side, tell him I sent. He'll be sure to treat. I owe you one, I reckon.
So he tells us about a blacksmith on the left side of the lake section up here. We're going to actually go up there and talk to him here shortly.
This time we parted.
And there we go. So now we can put our weapon on. And as you can see, 18 strength, 17 dex. Bloodhound's Fang has a blood loss build of 55, so you get a nice bleed proc as you're fighting stuff. And with the shield that we have set up with no skill, we're able to use the weapon art freely and still have the guarded play of shield and sword. You can also two-hand this weapon. As I am now fat rolling, let's go ahead and take off the chest piece. Here we go. Oh yeah, there we are. God, I love that weapon art. So to note, this weapon art has a two-step. So there's this phase, and then you can heavy attack, and you'll do a quick step into that slash. I love me a good quick step move because if you time this just right when you're about to take damage, that quick step will get you out of some situations for sure. So again, this is just up above Aguil Lake South. This is the Forlorn Hound Everjail, where we just helped out Blythe. And yeah, so now we have our weapon. Exciting stuff there. From there, let's go back over here to Summon Water. We may as well cover this as well. Gonna increase our amount replenished. See if we can level up. No, we cannot. I mean, we could, but we're not gonna stress it right now. What we do want to do is make it morning. Guys, remember we were here earlier where we got our turtle talisman. I mentioned there's a bit of a field boss out here. We're gonna be taking him on right now. Now he'll summon up some enemies around him. Oddly enough, he does friendly fire his own summons. Looks like we whiffed on that one. So you should be headed out over here. He'll end up taking out his own summons with that move right there. It's kind of funny to watch. Oh. Yeah, see? I mean, he'll just take out his own guys. It's a very easy fight. I just recommended not doing it too early on. Watch out, because they'll summon all that stuff up. And we're just going to kind of, you know, go in circles, poke around. We're going to watch out for the summons that are throwing stuff at us. Wait for him to go to a next little area. We'll pop one of these now. And again, he's not very difficult to fight. It's just getting in there and timing your attacks. Torrent makes this really easy to do. I say that and I'm just whiffing everywhere. Oh, he actually hit me there? Let's pop this. And he's back over this way. The main thing to do this early on, as I mentioned, if we kill this guy, we get an item that we can turn in, and we can get ourselves a really nice, what's known as the claw mark seal. It'll allow you to put and cast incantations, allow you to put different imbuements on your weapons, so you can do like, you know, flame or lightning or bleed. And once you kill him, all his skeletal friends will die, by the way. There's the death root and the skeletal militiaman ashes, which I'm going to be using. I actually prefer these to the wolf ashes. The reason for that is these skeletons, like the skeletons that you'll fight in the catacombs and things, they will resurrect. So if they're on an enemy and they're fighting and they get quote-unquote killed, they will actually have a small duration of time and then they'll resurrect, get back up, and keep fighting. So especially in bosses, some of the dungeons and caves and those instances, it does come in handy. So yeah, it's nice that we got those so early on. Rest up, we'll replenish, and then we're going to go right over here to the Bestial Sanctum. Remember, we went here earlier, and we're going to go turn in this death root so we can get the claw mark seal. So this will basically get you your seal, which will allow you to cast incantations, which coincide with the memory slots that we've been picking up the memory stones for. There is a fifth one that we will pick up not long from now, likely in the Let's Play, so you'll have a pretty good selection to be able to choose from. I think actually we'll have more open slots than available spells or incantations to utilize. So with that said, let's go ahead and talk with this individual. This NPC, give him the death root.
I smell it. Feed it me. Tarnished by sugar. Feed me.
So he will give you the claw mark seal and the beast eye. So you'll be procced at certain points when it says the beast eye quivers. When that happens, you will, be able to basically take a fight if you choose to do so. You do that, you get a death root, you come back, you give it to him, and he will give you some incantations to utilize with that claw mark seal. But if you go over here to your equipment, I don't have the faith requirement. I would actually have to put one more level into that to be able to utilize it. But in doing so, later on when we have the ability to put things on our weapons such as lightning and flame and magic and bleed and other things like that, we'll be able to effectively use the claw mark seal to cast the imbuement that we need. So yeah, basically from here we can actually start clearing out most of Limgrave. There is a loop for Caelid, and there is a bit of a loop for the lake section. In doing the lakes to get us to the part of Caelid where I would like to go, it's best to start out here at the Stormhill Shack. NPC is still there, which is fine. And let's head on out this way. So you're going to see this bridge go off to the right. Avoid the bats if you can. They're not too much of a threat anyways. Here we are. Now there's a cookbook item, basically recipes for crafting, that'll be at the end of this bridge here. And what this will do, this cut through path allows us to get up to the Liurnia Lakes, if I'm saying that correctly. It'll allow us to get up to that zone without having to actually take out Stormvale Castle, nor Godric the Grafted, which is essentially the first Legacy dungeon and first boss tied to that Legacy dungeon. Put our lantern on, show you guys how much it'll kind of light your path, even in the daytime and stuff. I think we're still technically in the morning hours. Don't worry about the wolves, just keep on going. I like how when I'm recording, everyone wants to fucking get a hold of me. But when I'm not doing a goddamn thing, my phone is always silent. One moment, turn this off, there we go. Alright, so what that'll do is that'll cut us here to Liurnia of the Lakes. There is a site of grace here. Go ahead and grab this. Now if you go back in there, that's basically that is Stormvale Castle, which we'll be covering that in the Let's Play. I'm not going to worry about doing anything in regards to that right now, but what we do want to do is head on over here. And we're going to talk to this NPC. Grab us another sacred tier. This NPC is going to ask you for 10 runes. Go ahead and give it to him. He's going to tell us about the Academy of Raya Lucaria, which is actually our second Legacy dungeon.
You are a true, my name, presuming you're only...
So you can further talk to him. He'll tell you that you need a key to get into the Academy. He lost his, blah, 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 blah. Can you get me back in there? Or you can study sorceries. So for your caster boys, there you go. Just make sure you speak with them. And from this area, we're going to head down this path. Small encampment to run past. Then we have a site of grace. In hindsight of showing you guys down in the Weeping Peninsula, that merchant where you can get the lantern, I always forget that had we gone this way first and initially, grab that, it's just a little glintstone cookbook. But had we gone down here initially, this merchant also has a lantern for sale. So if you haven't got a lantern yet, make sure to talk to this merchant and grab yourself one. Might as well use a sacred tear because we stopped off. Let's talk to our merchant.
You're unsurprised, you. No matter. No. Why don't you? Oh, don't. Oh.
So crystal dart, not really worried about it. You can get the stock, decent dex weapon. Again, the lanterns here. If you need smithing stones, 1 and 2s, they're here, they're available. Don't really have to worry about that for right now. What we do want to do is head out and get this map marker. So I'm going to leave it off here with grabbing this map marker, grabbing the grace, and you know, what we'll do is we'll grab the map marker, we'll grab the grace, and then we're going to go find E.G., who Blythe was telling us about, which is still within the lake section. So watch out for these guys. They're super annoying, pretty dangerous right now too. Just grab the map and then head out north to northwest. You're gonna see a little chunk of a ruin over here. Right over here, these ruins. Should be a site of grace on one of these. This next one. Then you can also grab that Glintstone cookbook. Go ahead and rest. So we're going to be running just behind me to a teleporter, and there's going to be some stuff summoning up. So we're just straight shot, go to the teleporter, take the teleporter, and then you'll be fine. Once again, we're going up to E.G., who Blythe told us about. We're going to want to speak to him. He's also tied to some quest lining involving Blythe and Ronnie, who we'll meet later. And notice the map here. So what it's going to do, it's going to actually get us up into this zone. I think actually higher up into this zone over here. And then we'll actually get the map fragment to have all of the lake discovered. And we'll be able to view and kind of see what's going on. Run out here. Go ahead and take the teleporter. Don't want to fight that guy right now. I mean, you can, but I really don't advise it. Now, the whole reason for going up and finding the NPC that we're looking for, following this step, is let's grab this grace. This is actually the second legendary dungeon. This is a clue on how to get into the secondary legacy dungeon, which I might as well show you guys. We're gonna be covering it in the Let's Play, but once we get this map fragment, I'll show you guys where to actually go to get what it is that you're gonna want to grab. We're not going to E.G. just yet, but we're working our way up there. Just going to bypass all this right now. That's a small shield with no skill on it, but I already have a medium shield with no skill, so I'm not going to worry about picking that item up at this time. And again, we're just bypassing everything. Not worried about what's going on here. Main thing is I want to get out here. And don't go straight, you're going to want to go off here to the left. And then jump across. And then down to the left. And grab yourself golden seed. Ta-da. Head on over this way. We just kind of, let's see here. This is on like a southeastern heading here. Here's the map marker. Grab that. Grab the site of grace. So from here, we want to go right here to this teleporter. Ended up going off onto the wrong map marker, so the video's going to probably have a cut in it. Anyway, Academy Gate Town, we're not going to worry about too much over here. Not going to worry about fighting. There is an NPC we can talk to. Let's see if we find him along the route. I think we should. Isn't he like right over here? Yes, here he is.
Who on earth are you?
This is also the guy that's at the round table hold.
They laid the tail I Diablo.
I don't know how Dialos is in two places at once, but he's tied to a later on quest. Don't do anything to him. Just, there you go. He's repeated himself. So we know that he said everything that he has to say. Remember where it's at. How odd. Oh, anyway, we're going to head out to this right here. It's another little teleporter that we're going to take. And this will shoot us up to the top left corner of the lake. We'll get another map fragment. We'll talk to EG. There should be a grace right here, isn't there? Yeah. So grab this grace. Gonna pop some runes. Perfect. You're gonna want 6,000 runes for this next part if you're going to be doing this at the same pacing as the Let's Play / walkthrough experience that we're gonna be putting up here on the channel. This is just to get you guys going, main stuff. This is the more juicy parts as we get to the end of the video. Hit the wall. Go like this to de-aggro. And here's EG.
Well, I presume. Oh, I am an old Koto here, perhaps.
So you can upgrade your stuff, but we have the blacksmith at Round Table Hold. What we're going to be acquiring from EG, you'll notice here he has Somber Smithing Stone 1, 2, 3, and 4. I want to buy a level 4 right now, because once I start my Let's Play, we're going to be doing it basically from a +4 or higher onward. Going to be on total easy mode because, well, let's face it, it's a quality build, and my playthrough that I got platinum on was using the Bloodhound's Fang, playing quality with a little bit of faith. It's a level 160, and it also took me 160 hours to complete my platinum. So keep that in mind. We here, and we know what we're doing. So from EG and getting your Somber 4, we're going to go back through the ruins. We're not going to worry about fighting anything. There is a little downstairs room. We'll do that in the Let's Play. We're not going to worry about doing that right now. Main thing is we want to get down from a safe spot. We want to get down to the lake. And here we are. And you'll see the broken bridge straight ahead in the distance. That's where we're going. I think some people might be wondering too, earlier I took off my chest piece and armor, and that was due to being overweight with having the Bloodhound's Fang at this time with all of my other gear. So I don't like slow rolling, I prefer to have a medium roll. And with that, I just take off my armor, and we're good to go. So right under this bridge and through, we have a Somber Smithing Stone +3 for you. Oh, sorry, 3 Somber Smithing Stones. Oh, wait. Ah, that is a Somber Smithing Stone 3. I'm silly. I'm just reading it wrong. I need to eat some food. Careful for those guys. So from that item, run pretty much straight. We're going to be going into these broken up rocks and stuff like that over this way. Since in this Let's Play I will be running with some incantations, we're going to take you guys up to one last spot. It's a church known as Church of Vows. There's an NPC there, the best boy, the turtle priest, the big guy. Anyway, throughout this game, a lot of different NPCs will go off on quests, or they will meet their demise, or whatever it may be. Turtle Bro will be there till the end, and even after. So with that being said, if you get any sort of books for incantations or spells, I advise taking all of them to the priest at Church of Vows, which is where we're headed right now. Just got to remember where this site of grace is at, because there's a site of grace right along the shore, and then we go up from there to actually go get Turtle Bro. We still have a ways to go here. There's my marker. Let's go this way. Pretty sure there's... Yeah. Get up there, Torrent. There we go. There we go. And right there is our grace. Look at that. So, now that we've done that, we want to head on up here. $360, if only. Don't worry about those guys. They're like pyromancers. Huh. Anyway. There is a fort here if you guys want to grab an item. Pretty sure it's an incantation, if I remember correctly. Flame cleanse me. Actually, yes. Do be sure to grab that on your way. That is actually super important for later on in the game. Flame cleanse me will alleviate things like scarlet rot and poison. Always good to have. We're basically just making our way up this... now a mountain at this point. I was going to say hill, but it's a bit more than that. And here we are at our church. This is another one of those areas where at nighttime we'll have a bell-bearing hunter that will appear. Those very challenging nighttime field bosses. So if you're ever here, just be cautious at nighttime. Main thing to watch out for... So our NPC's right inside here. If he is not there and you come in, you are going to get invaded by something that is a real pain in the butt to take on. But this is Turtle Bro.
You are tarnished. I welcome you. I am in my apology. Do you know how it came? Well, that is shattering. It is here by the matter, and so the earth tree. Oh,
So you
are free.
burn through the dialogue.
If you find any, unless, in which case.
It says if you have anything as far as incantations or sorcery, bring them to me. He has Blessing's Boon currently, and he has, you know, Carrying Greatsword, Magic Glint Blade. So once you bring him the other spell books and things like that,
Something?
you'll be able to acquire them from him. And like I said, he doesn't go anywhere, he doesn't leave. He's always holding it down at the Church of Vows. Road to the Manor, and then you have Caria Manor, which right down here below, if you're looking for Hoarfrost Stomp, there's one of those scarab beetle things that are around here where you get the Ash of War for Hoarfrost Stomp. So if you're looking for a big AoE that also procs Frostbite and has some good stagger capability, we'll be covering that in the Let's Play, but just something to note for you guys currently. It is nice to have early on. From here, I think the main thing to do now is we'll pretty much go up into Caelid, because now in Caelid there's couple items to grab, and it's nice to be able to fast travel there when we need to later on. But off the top of my head, unless you're looking for the sword, the big great sword like Guts' sword from Berserk, you're really not going to need to go down there. Even so, the requirement for that weapon is 35 strength, so I think we're going to go ahead and grab that in the Let's Play. To recap, we basically did the starting Limgrave loop. We got a bunch of Sites of Grace, so you guys can knock out Limgrave for yourself, the starting zone. Be mindful, the NPC here at the Bridge of Sacrifice will give you stuff in regards to this area down low, which is Castle Morn. It's kind of like your first mini dungeon, legacy dungeon. There is a boss behind it. Once you kill that boss, you get a really cool weapon. One of your first legendary armaments, which is a legendary weapon. You do need those for your platinum achievement if you're going for completionists and if you're trying to get all of them. But this will have you in a good spot to do the first starting zone. So you're good to take on anything in Limgrave at this point. Have fun with it. In the Let's Play, we'll be going through all of the catacombs, dungeons, invasion instances, things like that along the way. You progress from Stormhill Shack after clearing Limgrave. You're going to go up and you'll have a bit of a mini-boss before getting into Stormvale Castle, at which at the end of Stormvale Castle, it's your first demigod. In the Let's Play series, we're going to be covering that as well, and the activation of the Great Rune, which will help you out immensely throughout your playthrough. From that point, your progression path is going to take you to Lake Facing Cliffs, which we already have that Site of Grace, and it'll then be time for Liurnia of the Lakes. You also notice the Academy of Rhea Lucaria, and with that, we need to get a key, which is located right here on the map, behind a dragon. We're going to make the run for that in the Let's Play. Potentially we do that towards the end of part 2 for the starting guide. But for now, you guys are good for the first 2 full zones of the game. Let's go ahead and make note. Don't go up to Caria Manor, which is this structure here, unless you already know what you're doing. If you progress through this and you go too far back where my cursor is now, you're going to lock yourself out of some content. You're going to have things progress before I feel they should, as if you're going for platinum or if you're trying to play all of the content that this game has to offer and not just speed through it, you're going to want to wait to go up back behind here, which is known as like Ronnie's Towers and stuff like that. So you can complete the Caria Manor. Just for full disclaimer, I always do Caria Manor before I do the second Legacy dungeon and take on Renala, Queen of the Full Moon. Reasoning for that is when you go through Caria Manor, be able to go out and around, and you're able to acquire a merchant that gives you a really nice spell parry. So as spells are being casted upon you, you can parry them. I like the retaliation aspect of the spell parry. So when you hit the parry, you then have a retaliating effect that deals damage back to the enemy that tried to attack you in the first place. So really good to have. I always like having that on when I take on that dungeon because there are a lot of caster type enemies in the second Legacy dungeon. So do keep that in mind moving forward from Limgrave through Stormvale and as you start taking on the lake section. So we have our Bloodhound's Fang. Inventory wise, we have a 2, a 3, and a 4. So we just need that Somber Smithing Stone 1, which I think there's one. I think there's one close by. Let's go see. We'll actually grab that before we wrap up. As you're riding, you can equip your lantern if you choose to do so. You'll notice a couple enemies right here by that cart. If you go to the rear of that cart, you can pick up, I think it's the flail. Decent dex weapon, but there are better versions of it in the game. You'll notice an NPC talking to us at a certain point near this Grace. We're not going to worry about him. I've never done his questing or anything like that. I don't find him to be very important or significant to the story of the game. And he's not at all tied to the platinum or any sort of achievement in that way.
You there? Could you help us out, Ellie?
Grab the leaf. Going to be a glowing ball here that we want to get. Determination. Regular smithing stone. There's our number 1 somber smithing stone. Since we don't have a whole ton of like risk right now, because I'm really not too worried about it, I'm going to show you guys a decent weapon to grab. Oh, wait. Nope. Nope. We can't do that. I forgot. We gotta wait for them to stop first. Get on the back of here. Grab the great axe. Decent strength weapon. Grab that golden rune. Just a drive-by loot thief. Just a drive-by loot thief. And if you notice right here, we're back at Aguil Lake South. So nothing too pressing, nothing you really just, oh man, you gotta stress about it and worry about it. You'll notice the shiny scarab out there, but if you go for that, which I believe it's unsheath, it's a nice move, but we actually get that move paired with a katana later on, so we'll grab that from the catacomb in the Let's Play. I usually don't even go for that unless I'm trying to farm those crabs and just kill them for the runes. Level up our weapon. So we'll actually wrap it round table hold. I like how I've probably said in the video I'm going to wrap up a couple of different times. I keep kind of pushing the video out a little bit longer and a little bit longer, but even if we have to break this into a 2 or 3 part video, those breaking moments and points will be at a good spot. So since we just went and we have a somber 1, 2, 3, and 4, we're going to go ahead and strengthen up our weapon. Before we end the video, we'll do the the dialogue with the NPCs and things like that once we get into the next part of the recording.
Well, I took you no matter it. Lay out your arm.
Smithing 1, smithing 2, smithing 3, and smithing 4. Ladies and gentlemen, we have not cleared anything in this game, and with our quality build Bloodhound's Fang that only has 10 tiers of upgrades, we are already looking at a +4 Bloodhound's Fang. So with that being said, we are now hitting for 293. Really nice start, especially since we don't have any additional levels on our strength or our dexterity, which this weapon scales with both. So for a quality build, leveling strength and dexterity simultaneously, which allows us to use any other weapons in the game, also allows this thing to be a total powerhouse crutch weapon, as I'm sure some people will call me out for using it so religiously in my quality builds and in my Elden Ring content. But without further ado, guys, we're going to wrap it up here. I'm going to go ahead and do another part, if not 2 parts, following this. We'll go ahead and talk about some of the NPCs at Round Table Hold. We're going to then start clearing some of the Limgrave Zone, the first zone, and we'll work our way up through the more significant events leading us into the first Legacy dungeon. So before I keep on rambling, I will see you guys in the next one. And I already destroyed my chair, so I'm just going to sit here. And we'll see you guys in the next video.